So, EKG and welcome to Young and Proud Educators, and in this video guys we're going to speak about relationships in education. And before we move on guys, we urge you guys, please hit on subscribe and subscribe to our channel so we can grow our lesson. Please do that. We back you. And thank you so much, Mohlakeng, for subscribing. And we speak about relationships in education. I love this. Love it so much. Relationships in education. You know, like as I've mentioned in the previous video, that you know what, when we started teaching, we were like teaching is more like give, take, and be successful. It was more like a plan. It was more like when I started, the way I wanted to do teaching thing. It was more of a production line. For instance, in a Ford industry where we making cars, where they making cars. Where they making cars, like you bring a car in, not even made. You're gonna get structure. After structure, you get you put an engine. After engine, you're gonna paint it. After painting it, then you take it to the next level. You're gonna put the glasses and you complete it. Then the last part will be driving it. That's how most of us for teaching was like. I'm gonna come in. You have vast knowledge in the subject. You have vast knowledge in what I teach and what I love. And if I do it better and if I do it well, then it's gonna go to the next level. Where guys, I'm recording and it's afternoon. There's a lot of traffic, police car going up and down, the ambulances. Please pardon me, guys. This is what I do, and nobody will stop me from doing what I do and do best. I'm going to continue recording regardless of noises, sounds that are coming from everywhere and everywhere. I will record. Let's go back to the gist, to the deal. So when I started teaching, was like, you know what, I'm going to come in as somebody who's well learned into the subject, who knows better, who knows like a whole lot of kind of different theories. And such theories, I will work hard. This is what I thought it was. I'll work hard into transforming that from just theories into practicals, into applying them and share with the students. And once they start exploring and start acquiring that kind of knowledge, then the guys will then be successful learners. And if they're successful learners, how am I going to see that? I'm going to see with marks. That was me. Once guys are getting distinctions, once out of 25 is getting distinction, it means we're learning. About 10–15% is getting 70%, then we're learning. Like it was about results. It was not about the process. You know, like process, not the process. The example that I gave about Ford and how they make cars. It was about that. Then when I got into education, as I'm learning from my guys and they teaching me how to teach them, I was like, you know what, education is not about that. Education is a process where you learn about the kids and you then connect to have a relationship. Relationships are core. They're in the middle. They're core engine of teaching and learning. If you don't have a relationship with your students, there's no way you can speak to them. There's no way you can ask them to do something or tell them to do something and they will do it. This is one of the reasons why we have a whole lot of teachers in the system where they constantly and continually fighting with the students. And they end up saying, you know what, this child has no manners. This child is rude. This child is not raised very well. This child. It's not about that. It's not about this child. It's about you as a teacher. It's about you as a teacher. What kind of relationship do you have with the child? You got no relationship, you cannot work together. Look at the business people at the moment when they start doing great things. The first thing that they invest in relationships. You know what? I'm going to have this contract with you and it's going to go 10 years, 15 years. That's a relationship on its own. Then there's a way you will understand the person. You will negotiate things. You will communicate with that person. You will think. There's nobody that comes and come in as authority that will tell you what to do and how to do it. There's no way like that. So you then learn that, you know what, if I have to be a better teacher, then I have to have a relationship with those children. With the lovely children, I have to have a relationship with them. I have to understand them, where they're coming from. I have to understand what's happening in their lives. I have to understand where they want to go to and help them as a teacher to go to that destination. If the next destination is to get meal for the night, I will help them to go to that destination. I will never want to come in and say you have to go to a destination. At that point, most of us, I think, as teachers, well, how we mess it up is we come in and say, you know what, you should go to that destination, because at that destination there's this future. You have to go to the university, for instance, and when you get to the university, then you're going to be liberated, which is not always the case. You come in as a teacher and you say that the child is like, that's too far for me. I'm looking for my next meal. Where am I going to get the next meal? Where am I going to get it? It's those kind of things. And once you start understanding the children, where they're coming from, and what's their long-term plan, what's their short-term plan, that's when you're going to start now understanding exactly how to go about it, about teaching them. And once they finish, they go to secondary school. If you are like me, a primary school teacher, and your children now go to the secondary school, then that's when you're gonna go start supporting, start checking in with them, because you have a relationship with them. Then they continue to university, you're still maintaining that contact. That's why most teachers now who are 50, 60, retired at the moment, they're still in contact with their children. The students that we taught in grade 4, because they made it a point that, you know what, it's gonna be about a relationship, not about doing this and do now and get distinction. It was never about those teachers, it was about the children. So guys, in short, I'm saying when we go into those different classes and start teaching and start communicating with those children and start trying to understand them, the first thing that we need to put in place, make sure that you have a relationship with your students. If you do not have a relationship, your teaching or learning, it might not happen. It might not happen. It might not happen. It might not happen. 10 years of experience taught me that. Get to know the children first. Get to know the people that you're working first before you say any other thing. Unless you're coming from a different window and come in as a headmaster already. But even though when you come as a headmaster to a new school or to that school, you have to understand that the systems, there's somebody in place in there, and you need to understand those so you can start make contribution, you can start make suggestion into that spaces. Other than that, hey Charlie, you go suffer. So in short, you guys, when you go into your different classes, aspiring, young, brilliant, and excited teachers, make sure that before you start anything, invest in creating relationships with your students. Invest in creating relationship, invest in creating contact. Understand them well so they can be able to teach you so you can teach them. That's how best I can say. Guys, I'll see you guys in the next lesson. For now, cheers.